right, so getting ready to start testing the Zeus 58 caliber. So just quickly, we're looking somewhere around 12 pounds, kind of like the other Zeus. 32-inch barrel, and the barrel screws, it's threaded, and it actually screws all the way up to the beginning here of the breech. So as you start first pushing your slug in, it's actually engaging the rifle and going right in. So 32-inch barrel, it is threaded on top, and I believe Donnie said it's a 20x1. He's making an adapter so you can use your cami, and just with the adapter threads in, it'll fill up the gap. That way you don't have to keep buying another suppressor, which is pretty cool. Standard wood stock. It's got the updated fill probe on the side. You can see the breech area here where the air, or I'd say the lower breech where the air tank goes in, is narrowed down. It's a newer design. Fill nipple on here, so I don't have to deal with that probe anymore, that horrible aggravating probe. Still got the little pick rail here so you can put a bipod on it. It's not tapped for a sling stud, but I guess you could put one on. I don't know weight wise how that would work, but you know, all things are possible. Now it is Picatinny rail on top, which is great. We don't have to add a pick rail. The only issue I had was this scope is short, and I'll show you when we do a close-up. I had to move the rings all around and experiment with it to get it so I could get the scope on there, because there's not enough body to slide it back and forth. You know, these ATNs are all battery pack and guts in the middle. So with that said, let's get started with the Zeus 58. And I will say, this was sent to me by Terry Fox. Thank you, Terry. AEA, for all your AEA products and needs, foxairpower.com. That is a plug. There is the sign, foxairpower.com. The man supplies me and keeps me up to date with AEA, so I got to give him some loving. Let's do some shooting. Alright fellas, so this is what I wanted to show. Alright, so here is your Picatinny rail. This is, I guess you'd call it a standard scope. You know, a little bit longer. It's not a varmint scope, but you can tell you've got more body with it. And with it, of course, you've got more room to adjust, you know, forward, backward, however you want to do it. Get your ring set, still slides back and forth. So that's wonderful with a regular optics. But when you got this, you don't have that freedom because there's not a lot here to play with. I didn't want guys getting the wrong ideas thinking that I'm not happy. It's just you get this little itty bitty space to work with to tighten this on. I usually like stuff being centered. I can't do it with this. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to show that to you. So this is what we're playing with today. And I goofed up my chart a little bit. We get a 295 ball, 302 ribbed, the 350, the 333, which I forgot and had to squeeze in, the 480, the 555, and the 610. And we'll put up the charts with the speeds, but I think the bigger slugs really started to perform when it found the sweet spot. But we'll do some shooting and come back at you with the info. Okay, 302 grain ribbed. Alright, gentlemen, let's look at the chart. Because you know I love charts. I'm just a geek to the max. So, at the moment, just playing around in the basement, I'm finding that on the high pressure, with most of the lightweight slugs, I'm getting 2 high and 3 low on my grouping. Same thing that Zeus does. Because these are unregulated, we're trying to find that sweet spot, which I think is somewhere around the 3800 and under. But groupings, having nice groupings is great, but when you're hunting, you're looking for that max power. And as always, practice, 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 and know where your bullets are hitting. Okay? So, 295 grain round ball up to the 610 heavy hitting hollow point based on bullet length, because that's really what's going to dictate how it engraves and how it works with the twist rate. So, light ball 1246 was screaming. The 610, we're down to 884. All of these are good numbers. It's going to be up to you to prevent forest fires. I mean, it's going to be up to you to figure out what's going to work best for you. At the moment, these are just the weights I'm playing with. Doesn't mean that's what I'm going to settle with or even offer on a regular basis. But you always have to start with something and then fine-tune the process as you're combing out the things you don't like. So, high side, foot-pounds of energy on this 295. I mean, it's screaming. 1,017. Low side was in the 700s, like 760 foot-pounds. I mean, 760 foot-pounds is excellent with a round ball. I mean, you're talking, you know, black powder numbers here. The 302, the little ribbed one, was pretty good. The 433 was pretty accurate. The 480 was very accurate. The 555 and the 610 are all pretty good. These bigger slugs, I'm not getting the 2 separate group patterns. They're tightening up. This gun does seem to like heavy lead. So, all the way up to 1017, 946. You see the foot-pounds climbing. 978, 1076, 1063. And then we got a blurb here, 1131. It actually increased before it went down to the 610. This bullet, I don't know if it was the tightness or why, or just a combination, but this one had a very high foot-pounds of energy. And then the 610, of course. So, I'm still experimenting. We're still playing. I have not zeroed any of these in or zeroed any of these out of the line that we're going to carry. I still got plenty of experimenting to do. This is just to get a feel for the rifle, what the power level is, how it works, and look for the sweet spot. Okay? So that's the chart for now. Okay, bullet homies. So these are the ones that I shot in the ballistic gel. The little 302, which mushroomed nicely. The 350, because it's got a much bigger hollow point, gaping hole, literally turned inside out, and it's 3 pieces. See? The 480, beautiful, beautiful, stayed together. And then the 610 just totally blasted open. I mean, it's huge, but come here, you. I mean, it's a huge gaping hole, you know. It's humongous. So, of course, the bigger the hole, faster the expansion. But this is also some very tough lead. This is some older slugs that I was playing with. It's another reason why I don't like hard cast lead. It fractures too easily versus mushrooming. But that is a lot of penetration and power being dumped into this gel. ballistic gel. So, we shot the ballistic gel. You saw how some of the bullets fragmented, some mushroomed really well. A lot of that has to do with the depth of the cavity, the speed of the bullet, and as we all know, I've been doing this for years. Wet newspaper, wet phone books, jugs of water, buckets of water, they're all fun to play with, but they, clay, duck seal, it doesn't give you a true representation of a body cavity. Okay, and deer especially softer than boar hide. So it's great to play with, but please don't get confused and think that this is what you're going to do is going to be 100%. That's the results you're getting. I see a lot of bullets fragmenting when they hit water and wet newspaper, and that's not a true representation of what happens when it hits a body cavity. They're all different media that you're working with, and you just got to remember that, okay? Just because something happens with this doesn't mean it's going to happen with that. So keep that in the back of your coconut. Faster the bullet, the shallower the hollow point needs to be, in my opinion. I've only been doing it for 20 years. What do I know? So I'm really happy with this so far. And again, this is just a preliminary video starting testing on what we're going to wind up with when we're done. Oh yeah. Okay, I zoomed in. This is my tip of the day, okay? This is an extended female quick disconnect, and I put a male fill nipple on the end of it. Donnie FL, I believe, has these on its web page. This is a must to make your life simpler. When you can see how the fill nipple is kind of a deep cavity, you got to get your hands like this. So with this guy, you can see it's sticking out there, like a little 3-year-old doing his pee-pee. Much easier to grab and work with. If you've got a bunch of setups like I do, you just have the male on there, the fill quick connect, so you can take it off and on. If you've only got one tank or a small compressor, you just threads right on. Unscrew the other one, throw some pipe tape on it, and screw it on. But this is a real must. Fits and works, especially with the fact that half these air rifles in the country have slightly different millimeter sized fill nipples. So please pick one of these up. Like I said, check with Donnie FL. If not, contact me. I think I may have got some off of Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. That is the tip for the day. Alright, gents, so that's the wrap up of video 1, part 2, segment 37, subsection B. We ran the first set of numbers, a few hundred bullets, and I'm starting to figure out the power curve, the sweet spot, and what we're going to play with. I still got many more bullets to test to try to fine comb on what we want to offer. Just because I have it and it shoots doesn't mean this gun's going to like it the best. So, thank you for watching. I'll come back at you. Any questions about AEA products, contact Terry Fox at Fox Air Power. Hit me up for any questions you got, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching, and we'll come back at you when it's some warmer weather and I can get outside. Oh, and if anybody in the Hawaiian Islands, especially Maui, wants to adopt me and my wife, Mrs. Hollow Point, I'll be happy to pack up all my molds and the 2 suitcases and move on out, buddy, because I'm hating the cold weather. Loving it. Peace out.